Hi everybody, welcome back. We are this week going to be working on drawing animals, and specifically we're going to be drawing an animal from the adoptable pets at the Humane Society. So the Humane Society, we're going to be basing this off of the Humane Society in Truckee and then also in Klein as well. There weren't that many animals adoptable at the Humane Society in Truckee on the website. So we're going to be also including the Humane Society in Incline. If you are wanting to do an adoptable animal in Reno or if you're in Reno and you'd rather do the Humane Society that's local for you, then that's okay as well. And then all we're going to do, I'm going to show you here, all we're going to do is take the picture, and I'm going to show the doggies here. So these are the doggies, whoops, get that a little better. So these are the doggies that are adoptable at the Humane Society in Incline. All right, and then we've got a couple more over here. These guys are over in Truckee. Dottie already got adopted, but there's Toby and Barley there. And then if you would rather do a kitty, if you'd like to draw a kitty, then we've got a couple kitties there as well. Henry, George, and Jeremy. And then last thing I wanted to show you here is that they also have an option to take a look at the other animals that are available. Sometimes guinea pigs, sometimes bunnies. So if that's more exciting for you, then that's okay with me as well. All right, so what we're gonna do is you're gonna take a look over at those websites. Humane Society it could be your local Humane Society, or Truckee Incline is what we'll be doing in class in person. And we're gonna take those animals, the adoptable pets, and we're gonna do a portrait, a little picture of them. The main thing that I wanna go over while we're learning this process, we're gonna learn a lot about observation. So we're actually going to look at the picture and we're going to draw from the picture, which a lot of times we draw from our imagination, we have ideas, maybe we use some reference, but in this case, I want to work on realistic drawing right from that image, right from that reference. So I'm going to be printing out pictures, but you can also use your computer. The reason I'm going to print out the pictures is because a lot of the kids in the in-person class don't necessarily have their computer with them. So I am going to print it off. I personally do prefer to work from my computer screen. So if you'd rather do that, you can do that as well. But one tool that I want to introduce this week is using a grid. And some of you guys might have done that before. We haven't done it with me yet, so I would like to introduce that. And using a grid when you're trying to draw something that you want it to look just like the picture, a grid is a really useful tool. And the main reason that we do a grid is just because we want to show, or we want to get a guide. So it's a little bit of support for us when we're drawing a picture. If I go to draw a picture and I've got the ears, the nose, the eyes, everything, and I'm trying to put into place, then sometimes my measurements can get off just because I'm trying to look with my eyes and get all of that information on there. But if I draw a grid, then I can see, oh, okay, it looks like the ears fall at this point on the grid. It looks like the nose fall at this point on the grid. And it doesn't have to be really high tech. You don't have to have a whole bunch of squares on it. You might just have a couple, and that might feel like enough. But it is a really nice tool for support when you're drawing. So I would like for us to introduce that this week as we go into this project. So our goal is to draw a picture based on one of those from the Humane Society and to use a grid in our process. And then I'm gonna show you here. So let's just choose, you can do it with any picture. I got my snake book here, a lot of nature snakes. So if I were to draw this exact picture, what I would do is I would take a grid, and I'm gonna draw it on another piece of paper for you so you can see. I would draw the same grid on top of this picture, just with pencil, all right? And then I would also draw the same grid onto the piece of paper that I'm gonna be using for my new picture. Now in terms of the grid, I think 2 lines sliding down vertically and 3 lines going across horizontally is plenty. I think that works just fine. But if you feel like you want more, the more squares you add, the more information you have, the more support you have. So if you're wanting to do some more squares, that's totally fine with me. It makes it a little bit easier to find the measurements. You don't have to guess as much because you have more information. Let me know if anybody wants to be walked through this on a Zoom call or anything, because I can walk you through it as well if it's not making sense for you this way. And then I'm going to draw a grid on here. All right. All right, so if I take my grid, and I can just take a straight edge basically, and I'm just going to go ahead, I'm just doing this freehand, so it's not going to be perfect, but I'm going to draw my lines. 1, 2. All right, so those are my vertical lines. And then I find it's easier for me to go down than it is for me to draw a line across. So I actually flip my paper and then draw 3 lines. All right, and I do want them to be evenly spaced. Okay, like I said, this is freehand, so they're not going to be perfect, but I do like them to be evenly spaced so that it's accurate, right? So that's all the grid is. It gives you this information. So now, let's say, and I'm just going to draw just for fun, just a little happy face here. All right, so if I have this happy face, if I were to draw it onto another piece of paper and I have the same grid available to me, then I can say, oh, okay, on this second box down, I have a little bit of the eye here and a little bit that goes into the center square. On the second box down over here, a little bit of the eye, little goes into the second square. So I get an idea of where I need to be with my measurements, okay? So that's what I want you to do. I want you to try to use that as your tool when you're drawing the animal. If you have any questions about it all, like I said, feel free to email me. I can jump on a Zoom call with you and walk you through it or do it with you as well. And if you have any trouble finding the dogs and cats, I just put Google Humane Society of Truckee or Incline or Reno, and it'll pull up the different options for you. But if you have trouble with that, let me know and I can send you the direct link to whichever one that you're looking for. Okay, so we're looking for adoptable pets, and maybe we can help them get adopted. We could do something cool for the Humane Society. Maybe this will draw some attention to those animals that need to be adopted right now. All right, thank you guys. Let me know if you have questions as always, and I will talk to you soon.